What's going on, everybody? Dustin Fuoco here, and today we are going to be going from worst to best as we analyze all four of our Detroit head coaches. Here. We are going to go from worst to best, but with that being said, there are no worst in this scenario. All four of our head coaches are the right men for the job, so this by no means any of them are doing a poor job, but we are still going to rank them going from worst to best. So starting off, we're going to go with number 4, and for me, this is an obvious one. It's got to be Coach Todd McLellan. And McLellan has done a fantastic job with the Red Wings. However, the reason he's at number 4 is because of one easy word, and that word is playoffs. You look at the other three men, Campbell, Hinch, Bickerstaff, all three of them have led their teams to the postseason. And we'll even say they've led them to multiple playoff berths because barring an epic collapse, the Pistons will be postseason bound for the second consecutive year. And I understand it is a very small sample size for Todd McLellan. This is just his first full season as the head coach for the Red Wings. He's doing a great job, but because he doesn't have those playoffs, I do have to put him at number 4. With that being said, I think he's done a great job. He came into this team the day after Christmas last season. And right when he came on arrival, he actually had them playing really good hockey. Obviously, it didn't lead to the postseason, but you look at what he's done his first full year here in Detroit, I really like what I see. He's got a wide range of players that he's coaching. Everything from the wily veterans like Dylan Larkin, Patrick Kane, Alex DeBrincat, to the young but still seasoned stars in Lucas Raymond and Mo Sider, and the young rookies like Emmett Finney and Sandine Pellikka. All of them seem to be responding very, very well to Coach McLellan, and it shows in the standings. This Atlantic Division, the entire Eastern Conference for that matter, is extremely tightly knit, and as close as it is, with no room for error, you consistently see the Red Wings at or near the top of the conference. And since December, they've been playing some really high-level hockey. There's a reason they're near the top. And I honestly do believe this is the year we're finally going to see playoff hockey back in Detroit, which is crazy. Because you look at this hockey team, and it has been a decade since they've been in the postseason. That means we have gone an entire generation of fans here in Detroit that have never got to experience playoff hockey here at LCA or in Detroit. The last time they were in the playoffs, that means we have some kids that are maybe teenagers or young children that weren't able to experience it, and we got to get that back here because not a slight on any of our other teams. It was great seeing playoff football at Ford Field. It was awesome seeing Comerica Park filled up in October again, and I was down at LCA for one of the Pistons and Knicks games. It was a great atmosphere. But at the end of the day, nothing compares to playoff hockey. And to get that back at LCA, to prove why this is Hockey Town, it's gonna be something special. I think Todd McLellan is the guy that's gonna lead us back to the postseason. I think it happens this year. But until it does, I have to have him at number 4. And that brings me to the man we got to put at number 3. And it was a really tough decision between 2 and 3. But in the third spot, I got to put the Tiger skipper, Mr. A.J. Hinch. And the reason I got to put him in that 3 spot is because of the decline we saw at the end of this past season. We'll touch on that in a bit, but let's talk about all the great things that Hinch has done here for the Tigers. We just talked about Todd McLellan. He's the shortest tenured coach we have here in Detroit, only on a year and a half here with the Wings. Meanwhile, A.J. Hinch has been here the longest, and you're finally starting to see the fruits to his labor. He's gotten this Tigers team to the postseason in back-to-back years, and in consecutive years, we were just one game shy of the ALCS. And again, we'll touch on last season, but you look at that 2024 run. It is a team sport when you're talking about baseball, but I would be hard-pressed to find one individual person that did more to will this team forward than A.J. Hinch. The fact he got this team to the postseason after August, when this was a team that was a seller at the trade deadline. The fact that he had a team that was pretty much a mathematical impossibility to get to the postseason, the fact he led them on the surge he did is remarkable, especially when you look at the rotation he had to work with. He had one starter. That starter was Tarek Skubal. Outside of him, it was bullpen day, and because of that, Every single game, we experienced a little something called pitching chaos. And AJ Hinch did that effectively with complete nobodies. Like, these are guys you would see on the side of Southfield Freeway with a sign saying, "We'll pitch for food." And these are the guys that got us to the postseason, pitching effectively in high-leverage situations. You mean to tell me prior to 2024, you knew what the hell a Brennan Hanafy was? Bo Brisky? Sounds like a snooty dish you get at a French restaurant. It's like, I'll have the Bo Brisket. These are the guys that got you to the playoffs and got you there successfully and had a playoff berth. And AJ Hinch, along with Chris Fetter, handled that masterfully. And last season, they played like the best team in baseball pretty much the entire year. They at least were the best team in the American League, and they should have won the Central. They should have had a bye. They should have been the 1 seed in the AL. But unfortunately, when September hit, this team did go on the downslide. That's why I got to put AJ Hinch in the 3 spot. Now, if you're asking if I think he's to blame, absolutely not. Everybody deserves a part of the blame. I think you can place more blame on the players for collapsing. I think you can place some blame on maybe Scott Harris for not being aggressive at the trade deadline. Even if you want to take it all the way up to Chris Ilitch, I'm fine with that too. I think AJ Hinch deserves the least amount of the blame, but because the entire team collapsed the moment we hit September, the skipper does get a little of the blame, and that's why I've got him at number 3. Which brings me to the man you got to put at number 2. I have been a huge supporter of him. If you asked me last year, he'd be my clear and obvious number 1, but I do have to put him in the 2 spot now. It is Dan Campbell. And the reason he's in that spot at number 2 is because of how this season ended. I get it. The deck was stacked against him. And if you asked me last season at this time, I'd still put him at number 1 even after the loss to Washington. But with the deck stacked against him, a second straight year with injuries, missing your OC and DC and having to restart that this year with new ones. I get it, it was a challenge, but we missed out on the playoffs, and we finished with still a winning record of 9-8, but a clear backslide from last year. That's why I've got him at number 2. But with that being said, he has done a wonderful job as the Lions head coach. He's had 4 of his 5 years here with a winning record, and I feel dirty even saying that because we shouldn't even count that first season. That first season where he had that terrible record, that was because he was cleaning up the mess that Matt Patricia left him. That entire debacle, and the fact that Dan Campbell turned things around as quickly as he did, that is a sign of a good coach. Matt Patricia, he made this a team that nobody wanted to be a part of. He was a skid mark on the NFL franchise and for this Lions group. Anybody that was worth a lick, anybody that had a lick of talent, he drove out. Darius Slay, Golden Tate, anyone worth a darn, they were out of here because Matt Patricia made this a place nobody wanted to be. And from the word go, the moment Dan Campbell got here, everybody wanted to play for him. And I understand being a player's coach is such a cliche, but it does not ring any truer for anybody as much as it does for Dan Campbell. People want to play for him, and it's more than just fancy lines about biting off kneecaps. He puts in the effort, and in return, the players give him right back. And he's done a fantastic job here. He's led this team to 4 straight winning seasons, a couple of playoff berths, playoff wins, the first playoff wins I've seen in my lifetime. And mark my words, yes, he is in the 2 spot right now, but I genuinely believe he will go down in history as the greatest head coach in Detroit sports of all time. And he will get that as soon as he wins this team a Super Bowl. Not if, but when he wins this team a Super Bowl. But where we are right now in the year 2026, I got to put him at number 2. Which brings us to our final man standing. For me, as we do this video in the year 2026, it is a clear and obvious number 1. The best coach Detroit has to offer at this time is Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff. What this man has done with our Pistons team is incredible. You look at what he has done. We are just 1.5 years into his tenure, and from the moment he took this role, he turned the page with this team. And he did it with everybody we had from the previous regime. You look at what Monty Williams did with this same group of guys, the same core, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, even pieces like Isaiah Stewart. This core, this was the exact same team that Monty Williams had at the very basement of the NBA. The worst team in the league, the worst team out there, the bottom of the barrel. That's what these Pistons were. And in one season, JB Bickerstaff made that horrendous team a playoff team. I don't know if you know how difficult that is. Let me tell you the natural progression for a team going as bad as they are to a playoff team in the NBA. If everything goes according to plan and best case scenario, you go from being the worst in the NBA to a team that's slightly below average, just missing out on the play-in, to year number 2 being in the play-in. Maybe you win the tournament game, maybe you get to the playoffs, maybe not, but you're in the play-in. And year 3, if everything works out perfectly, then and only then are you a playoff team. And what JB Bickerstaff did in year 1 is he bypassed all of that. He bypassed the play-in round, he bypassed being average, and he took this team straight to the playoffs year 1, and it wasn't a fluke. No, that they were genuinely competitive against the Knicks. And they gave them a run for their money. And that was year 1. Here we are in year 2. And the record indicates it. The bulk of this year, they've been atop the Eastern Conference. The record says they are the best team in the East. And maybe outside of OKC, they could be the best team in the entire NBA. And you look at the rest of this Eastern Conference, every team that was good last year is either worse than they were last season or the same. The Boston Celtics, they're average. They don't have Porzingis anymore. They won't have Tatum for most of the year. The Bucks don't look like a playoff team. The Pacers, they're now at the basement of the NBA. The Pistons are the only team last year that was good that this year are actually better. And they look like the clear favorite in the Eastern Conference. And for JB Bickerstaff to accomplish all of that in just 1.5 years, that is very clear and obvious to me. He is the best coach in Detroit as of now. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to get yours. And we're going to continue doing videos each and every week. So if you have any kind of topics you want addressed, any questions, anything you want talked about, make sure you let me know in the comments. As always, for this video, let me know what I got right. Let me know what I got wrong. Feel free to have at it, and God bless.